Good morning. This is Dr. Charles Foster with Fostering Wellness, and I want to just share with you something I heard recently at a chiropractic conference. One of the speakers there talked about the way we deal with stress and the consequences of that stress and how that impacts the treatments that we receive in the current medical paradigm. He talked about the fight or flight reflex that we have. I want you to think about this. Imagine you're walking through the woods and you see a bear, giant grizzly bear. The grizzly bear rises up on its back two legs and it is now preparing to charge towards you. You have what's called, instantly you undergo what's called the fight or flight reflex. And either way, whether you are going to fight the bear off or you're going to run from the bear, flee, a number of things happen to your physiology. The hair might go up on your arms. Your palms begin to sweat. Your digestion stops. You certainly don't need to be worrying about what's in your stomach and processing that food while you're fighting or while you're running. So your digestion stops. Your reproductive system basically stops. You couldn't possibly be aroused or any way, shape, or form during a situation where you're fighting a bear. Your blood pressure goes up. Your adrenal glands kick in. Your adrenaline is pumping through your veins and your circulatory system. As you're breathing faster, you're beginning to sweat. Your heart is pumping harder, and on and on and on. You have all of these systems that go into high gear, and you have other systems that aren't necessary to the fight or flight response that are shutting down completely. So, in that situation, your digestion stops. Would you think that it'd be appropriate to take some sort of pill to increase your digestion? Would you think in that situation it'd be reasonable to take some kind of pill in order to increase your libido? Would you take some kind of pill to lower your blood pressure? No, you wouldn't. You would get out of that stress. So here's what happens then. So a person gets out of that situation. They either defeat the bear, well, maybe they get killed by the bear, but they either defeat the bear or they escape from the presence of the bear. And when they're in a safe space again, the body does what it's supposed to do. The heart rate comes down. The body begins to stop sweating. The respiration rate comes down. The blood pressure comes down. The adrenal glands begin to quit pushing out adrenaline into your system. And after a period of time, your digestive system will come back online. Your reproductive, your elimination systems would come back online, and everything would be just fine. So what's that got to do with us? We don't fight bears anymore. So where am I going with this conversation? Well, think of it like this. We have an executive under a high-stress job. That's his bear. And so the executive is trying to meet deadlines, and he has all these pressures, and he's dealing with employees and labor strife and meeting the bottom line. And so his fight or flight reflex still kicks on. It's his metaphorical bear. And so what happens over a period of time, his digestion isn't so good, and so he's taking pills for his acid reflux or his indigestion. His blood pressure is going up, and so he's taking pills to get his blood pressure down. Because the chronic inflammation in his tissues and stuff, his cholesterol has gone up. As a matter of fact, all this stress has affected his libido, and so now he's taking the Viagra or the Cialis pill. And you can see where I'm going, on and on and on. He's taking these pills. What he really needs to do is change his stress levels. It might be that the most drastic thing he could do to change his stress levels and have his body come back towards health would be to quit this high-stress job. Now, that's kind of an unlikely thing for a person to do who's got to take care of his bills and make his mortgage payments and so forth. So maybe changing his job isn't the thing. Maybe changing his diet is the thing he should do. And of course, that's a smart thing because diet is a stressor. Lack of exercise is a stressor. All these different things add up to stress in our body and put us in a situation where we're metaphorically fighting the bear. So where does chiropractic come in? Chiropractic comes in to help reset the nervous system. When the nervous system is functioning improperly, when it's got an inappropriate feedback loop, when there's a subluxation present so that the body can't comprehend itself and it can't shut off the fight or flight reflex, oftentimes a chiropractic adjustment will help to shut that down and let the body go back to doing what it's supposed to do. Oftentimes it's a spinal problem that's been there for a long period of time. Inappropriate curves that don't exist in the spine are stressors on our nervous system. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about, are you fighting the bear? Do you or someone you know, are they fighting the bear? Are they living on pills to deal with stress? Are they living on the recommendations of a medical doctor? I recently had a person come in to my office who said their doctor said, you're borderline diabetic, so I'm going to put you on metformin. Just looking at this man, he's overweight by probably 60 or 70 pounds and has been for a long period of time. The doctor didn't suggest to him he should change his diet. The doctor said, you're borderline diabetic, so I'm going to put you on metformin. What's going to happen? He is going to continue on his path. If he doesn't change his behavior, he will no longer be borderline diabetic. He'll be full-on diabetic. And what we're going to suggest to this man is that he change his eating habits. He change his exercise habits. That he change his postural habits. That we work with him and work with his nervous system to help his body reset. And I will almost promise you that if we talk about this again in a few weeks, this person will be off of those medications, because as they address their behaviors that were causing them to fight the bear, to begin to approach diabetes, as we address those problems, as we address those problems and as he changes his behaviors, he will move away from the bear. And when he moves away from the bear, his blood pressure will come down, his blood sugar will come down, his heart rate will come down, his weight will come down, and he will be exhibiting more health. So anyway, I want you to think about that. Share this with a friend if you know somebody who's fighting the bear.